us quite a bit of time and a couple of positions.
It's a very unusual thing for tyre to go right through the tyre and break the rim. In all your career, have you ever seen anything like it?
No, well, we had a very similar situation last year as well. I think because of the weight of the car, which is reasonably heavy, and the impact that causes it as well.
After his lost time in stage 3, Damso was not hanging about. He was just a second slower than Keen on stage 4, but was quickest in this stage by 4 seconds over Keen.
So it's stage 2, first gravel stage, and you're into trouble right in the beginning.
Yeah, it looks like this event has got a jig on me. I always seem to have a problem. The second stage this morning, we had a front wheel with a puncture, so we lost about a minute on everybody. So there's a bit of a, to lose that time is not easy to make up.
But you're always good at coming from the back.
Enzo's going very well. He's very quick today, so, well, still early. Maybe things will change.
A lot of talk about rough stages, and quite a few people have had punches. Is it exceptionally rough out there?
Well, some of the stages are a little bit rough. You get the rocks, and that's where the punches, they come from. But that's forest, typical forest type of stages.
Yeah, so nothing new.
No, nothing new, and they are hard on the cars, these forest stages.
Especially now, everybody seems to be driving absolutely flat out from the word go.
Looks like it. I think everybody, nobody seems to be waiting for tomorrow. The Volkswagen, they're going very well, so the four-wheel drives are going very well too. Scott had a punch, so pity also, so he lost a bit of time there. But anyway, tomorrow's a long day.
Indeed, Keen was taking no prisoners. He was determined to stamp his authority on the event and was driving hard, winning 3 of the first 4 gravel stages. He held a 28-second lead after just 5 stages.
How are the conditions out there?
Well, the dust is not a problem because we got a bit of wind, and it's just rough. You can see that it's been very dry here, and the rocks have been torn up from the bottom of the road. We hit one rock so hard that our headlight just shattered, and I just saw glass fly. So you're bouncing from rock to rock, and it's dangerous. You need to look after your tires.
And tell us, you've got a possible penalty hanging over your head. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I think we need to just reconcile tonight and have a chat with the organisers, and we can comment on that maybe in the morning.
The concern over the potential penalty within the Volkswagen camp was palpable. It stemmed from Keen parking alongside a time control board at the start of a stage rather than behind it, as the regulations state. It was a topic of hot discussion between Keen, Hodgson, team advisor and multiple Navigators champion Frans Boshoff and team manager André van der Walt. Habig was not without his own problems either. Following his earlier puncture, the Golf lost its right rear wheel in stage 4, probably as a result of damage from the earlier puncture. Fortunately, the incident cost the crew just 15 seconds and they maintained their 3rd place. However, their woes were not yet over. In stage 5, they broke a drive shaft and lost another 35 seconds, dropping them to 4th overall. They were now 58 seconds behind teammates Keen and Hodgson and only narrowly ahead of Damso. But Habig did not appear overly stressed about his misfortune. The biggest beneficiaries of the problems to befall the others were Lawrence and Vermeulen. By simply staying out of trouble, they'd climbed the leaderboard and were now holding 2nd overall after 5 stages. It wasn't all plain sailing though, as the car had hit a rock, damaging the rear suspension. It had not affected the performance of the Runx at all, but Lawrence decided to change the unit as a precaution, as the weekend part could fail later in the event with dire consequences. There was frantic activity in the service area to get the car ready in the time allocated. They made it just in time, but it was hard and hot work. Okay, boys, it's fixed now, but who's going to drive the damn thing? Lawrence must have been ruining the life of a privateer. With Fecken out of the rally, there was no pressure on Damso Jr. He was comfortably ahead in his class, but was nevertheless setting good stage times to keep himself in 7th place. He was ahead of some of the more fancied Subaru Class N4 cars and would enjoy an event-long battle with them for overall honours. Kali van der Merwe and Gideon Trollop were chasing Damso hard for 7th in their mobile Subaru Impreza, despite van der Merwe suffering a severe bout of flu. Cape Townian Stefan van Dijk and Mark Pym were getting the hang of the event in their house of Subaru Impreza and were comfortably in the top 10. Van Dijk was already starting to hang the rear end out nicely and was picking up the pace too. The top car Bosch BMW of Cliff Blackburn and Johan Claassen was as spectacular as ever and also running in the top 10. Nicholas Ryan and Brian Careyhill had finished all 3 events thus far in their Bosel Subaru Impreza and were after another good result. De Costa feared he might miss the event due to matric exams, but fortunately the young navigator could take his place alongside Ferreira. Charles Wilken and Robin Houghton took an early Class N3 lead in their Castrol Toyota Run X. Having won the title last year amidst very little opposition, the pair is having to work harder this year due to the arrival of Class A5 champions Rodney Versaghi and Carolyn Swan in a similar car. Craig Trott and John Costa suffered a bent suspension on day 1 in their team total Toyota Corolla, but led Class A6 overnight. Mally Seville and Dean Redlinghuis were putting in a spirited drive in their Auto Services Subaru Impreza and were knocking on the door of the top 10. Meanwhile, Versaghi and Swan were driving hard in their team total Toyota Run X, but were battling to match class rival Wilken's speed. The two have been fairly evenly matched on this year's rallies, with Versaghi taking 2 class wins to Wilken's 1 and leading his rival by 6 points going into the event. Both had also failed to finish an event. Spectator numbers are growing each year, with some making the event a party to remember.
Sasol Rally, yes,
Tony Ball and Alec Harris had downgraded their Bulwer Park Golf from Class A8 to A7 and were running second in class. Colin Wilson and Jeff Tyro were out in their Class N4 Centrac Ford Escort, taking on the dominant Subarus and Mitsubishis. The Rally Chick Subaru Impreza of sisters Lola and Megan Verluck was going well, the ladies still in confident mood after a podium finish on a recent regional rally. Gugu Zulu and Rod Herring were flying the SA flag from their Sasol Volkswagen City Golf. They led Class A5 overnight. As usual, large and enthusiastic crowds arrived to watch the Sabi and White River night stages. These stages are not particularly liked by the crews who prefer the fast open gravel stages, but they play an important part and a role in introducing the public to the sport. For the crews, there's not much advantage to be had from pushing too hard, but all can be lost by hitting a curb, drum or pole, which can spell instant retirement. As can be seen from Gemmel's in-car camera, picking the route out at night is no easy task, and competitors have to mix caution with speed. Etienne Lawrence and JP Damso are traditionally the masters of this type of stage, although sometimes the layout assists the more wieldy Class N4 cars, which can put their superior traction to good use. Due to the short and twisty nature of these stages, the times are usually very close, with mere seconds covering most of the field. Keenan Burger shared second fastest in the Sabi stage, 1 second ahead of Lawrence, with Habig and Damso just a further second back. In the White River test, Lawrence equaled the fastest time, with Habig next up, followed by Burger and Keen. For the rural communities out there, this is entertainment as big as it gets. And of course, from Mpumalanga, it's one of their premier sporting events. True to form, it was Damso Jr. who set the fastest time in both stages. He's always been good in this type of test, setting the tone in his first year of national rallying when he won one in junior class car. On that occasion, he pipped his father in the final spectator-friendly stage of the rally. Damso Sr. took the overall win in that event, but was puffed up with pride at his son's achievement. Again, the spectators got involved and loved every single second of it. Officials decided to uphold an accustomed 5th place, while Van Dijk did well to hold on to 9th. The top car Beamer was 10th, but failed to start the next morning.
It's a lot closer than